Perfect. Oh man, I'm excited for this one. So, thank you for being on my podcast. My podcast is called Socks On or Off Podcast, and how I came up with that name, it's a sexual joke or play on. Basically, it's would you rather have sex with your socks on or off? And from that question, just drove me to have a podcast because I just wanted to ask people questions, make them uncomfortable. But with you, we won't be uncomfortable today. It's just going to be a simple conversation.
Okay.
So I'll just get to know you, and we'll talk about your life, your experiences with growing up in Tulsa or wherever you grew up.
Basically.
Relationship, if that's possible, and then we'll just go from there.
All right.
All right, perfect. So first off, if you just want to introduce yourself for the people who don't know you.
Okay. I am Jazzmyn. It is spelled differently. I am a stickler on if you spell my name, you have to spell it right or it's not me.
Okay.
I've been like that since I was little.
So fuck Starbucks and everybody.
And I will spell it for people.
I feel you.
Jazzmyn. If you put an E, if you add an I, S, that's not me. I don't know who she is. I'm sorry. It's not that how to do.
You were hilarious.
I've been like that since I was like 4. You have to spell it right or I don't know who it is.
Right.
I'm 25 and I am a Gemini.
So speaking of Geminis, I never understood the reasoning behind those signs. Like, women will not talk to you if you're a sign that's not compatible for them. So what does that stuff mean to you? And like,
oh, I'm a real big zodiac. I'm not like huge into it, but I will sit there and have conversations for hours with it. Love zodiac and astrology. So each I don't know why, allergies. So each zodiac sign is halfway between each month.
Okay.
Mid-January to mid-February is Aquarius. And it just goes from there. So each sign has its own traits, whether it's good or bad, everything is there.
Right.
But it's just not based off the zodiac sign that you were born into. Like I said, my zodiac sign I was born in starts the Gemini season.
Right.
May 22nd, Gemini season starts May 21st. Okay? Big Gemini.
Yeah.
But it's your zodiac sign is you.
Okay.
And it's not just, like I said, just that one. You'll have like a sun, a moon, a rising. You have each planet is related to a zodiac sign, and then each zodiac sign, each planet is in a house, and each house means something else. Each planet means something. Each zodiac sign means something.
Okay.
So it depends on where that placement is at.
Right.
Is you. So if you know your time of birth, where you were born at, your birthday, you get your zodiac sign and you will read it and be like, that's me for real.
Right.
It tells you.
Well, Jazzmyn, who is Jazzmyn then? House and planets and all that fun stuff.
So your main signs that make up majority of you is your big 3. So your sun, moon, rising.
Okay.
My sun, moon, rising is sun is a Gemini, which, like I said, that's the one you were born into.
Right.
Your moon is who you kind of like resonate with on the inside, and then your rising is if somebody meets you, that's what they think you are.
Okay.
So my sun, like I said, is Gemini.
Right.
My moon is a Sagittarius.
Okay.
Okay. And my rising is a Scorpio. So that's if you know those 3 signs. That's mainly me.
So a whole bunch of craziness and happiness.
Definitely.
Well, you
all those signs is bipolar, and I myself is literally bipolar. So
see, as you can see, guys, it's like women won't talk to us with different zodiac signs, but they're bipolar. I'm just throwing that out there.
Definitely.
No, I did stand up for a little bit, well, like 3 shows or whatever, but I had a joke and I was like, man. I had to check my son's zodiac sign because if it wasn't compatible to mine, I was about to go get some milk. And fortunately, he was born in February 11th. So whatever that is.
That's Aquarius.
Yeah, so I guess they were compatible with mine. But he's still an asshole. That's all I'm throwing out. All right.
At 2 years old, they're definitely going to be big assholes.
Man.
I'll be ready to square up with my 1-year-old all the time.
He has so much of his mom's attitude in him. It's ridiculous. I'm like, son, go put something down or pick something up, he just look at me and go, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? Like, I pay bills here. What do you mean no? So.
No, until they get about 6, they run the house. That's what I discovered.
He pays no bills, Jazzmyn.
Yeah.
No bills.
No. They have no responsibility, but they run the house.
All right, so with all that fun and confusing zodiac stuff, what do you like to do for fun? You're a mother, but I would like to get to know you outside of that.
I am a very simple person.
Okay.
It'll be the simplest stuff. Like, I'm a nerd. So if you're talking about learning something,
right,
big things.
Are you into comic books?
Never could get into them.
Really?
Never.
See, I'm starting to get into them. I have some over here, and it's what I like about them is you get to see characters that you may not see in TV shows or movies. So you'll probably have like Spider-Man with Wolverine or just other things like that. So I mean, they're very interesting. Again, not for everyone, but you may try to check them out. They're really interesting.
My older brother, he used to be into comic books when we were younger. He had comic books, and I wanted to do everything he did. Right. So I tried to read them, but I'm like, I'd rather give me the Martin Luther King Jr. book. I'd rather read that like that. I would rather choose reading something educational than something for fun. I can't get into superheroes. I really can't get into have never watched nothing of anime. Cannot get into it though. Like, I tried and I was like, let me start, but I couldn't tell you what. It's just like, I don't.
See, oh man, sad times. We're not starting off on good feet here, guys. I mean, I'm not a big anime fan or anime head in the sense of like know Japanese or watch 15 different. But as you can see, I enjoy anime. When she moves out,
I don't watch movies.
Okay.
Or TV shows like that.
So just documentaries and old people stuff.
Basically. For the most part. Like, there's my boyfriend and my mom, everybody that they were like, oh, Jazz, you know this movie? Never heard of it.
No,
like,
but I mean,
seriously, never heard of it. Like, my dad, he just found out that I've only watched Harlem Nights one time. And I couldn't tell you nothing about the movie because I've only watched it one time when I was like 7.
See, I watched it once as well, but it took me forever. I don't know why. But when I watched it, I was like, it's okay. Like, it wasn't as big as people put it out to be. Maybe at that time, it was probably spectacular, but to me, I'm just like, it's just
that's
a regular movie.
You gotta force me. Like, for the first time, right before I had my daughter, my sister made me watch Titanic in color purple from start to finish.
See, my son's mom made me watch The Color Purple, and it had an intermission, and I'm like, why is this movie?
The part that got me is that my sister was like, oh yeah, you gotta flip it. It's too long. If I gotta flip it over or put it, that's too much. I think that movie was like 3 hours. I was like, nah.
It was ridiculously long.
I couldn't do it. And then it was like the next day, she made me sit down and watch Titanic, which was the same length as Color Purple. And I'm like, why are you doing this?
See, I never watched Titanic.
It's nothing that's...
Yeah, like, you hear the story so much, it's like I basically saw it.
Basically.
And
really and truly, everything you hear is literally what you watch.
Right. I actually heard a conspiracy theory that Jack, the guy who dies, is a time traveler. Because he talks about taking the girl to the Santa Monica Pier. And at that time, it didn't exist until 3 years later or some shit like that. It was like, what if he's a time traveler and was supposed to save her, but he ended up dying in the process?
That's tragic.
Would have pissed me off. I'm never dying for no coochie, that's all I'm saying.
Nope.
I'll die for some other things, but some coochie, I'm cool. Especially in some cold water, I'm afraid of...
In the middle of the ocean, in freezing cold water, no.
You don't know what's down there.
No.
If somebody's bleeding, it could be sharks. Anyway, so...
That scares me. There's something that, like, large bodies of water, like if I go to a pool, love the water.
Right.
But if I go to the pool... As soon as the water hit mid-calf, I have to stop and stand there for like maybe 5 minutes because my head spins out. I feel like I'm about to pass out every time, but I love the pool. I love going to the pool. I love the water, but you got to give my body a second because if I try and rush it, I fall. I swear to God. I don't know it.
You never did a cannonball in your life.
No, I will not jump off the diving board.
I made that mistake once. I was on a mission trip, and this person had What's crazy is like growing up in the hood and going on mission trips and meeting all these rich white people really did something to me. Because this man had a saltwater pool in his backyard. I'm like, we had tap water, okay?
Man. We had water balloon fights with water cooler, right. Okay? That was the fun.
From the Dollar Tree.
Man.
But, so his deep end was like 12 feet or some shit like that. So I jump in, can't feel the bottom. It's pitch dark. I'm like, I'm finna die. But good thing I'm buoyancy? I float. So eventually I came up to the top. But that shit was the scariest thing in my life. Like, I'm afraid of being trapped somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have claustrophobia, but being stuck somewhere terrifies me. Like,
I don't like to be held down.
Really?
But I have,
okay.
I have a, don't know why. Has no purpose. But since I was little, I like to sit in boxes.
Have you seen that SpongeBob episode? It was like imagination.
But I didn't do the imagination. I just would sit in the box or sit inside of a plastic tub and like play with my toys. But it was that's what I did. It was nothing that was like, oh, it's a spaceship.
Yeah.
It was just a box.
It's probably comfortable. Or
no idea.
4 walls.
And still to this day, if there's a really big box, I'm like, oh, I could fit in it. I don't know why.
You crack me up.
But I like to sit in boxes.
So you don't have to get furniture. Be like, give me this expensive
really,
couch, but keep the couch and give me the box. You feel me? Do you like the little peanuts that come in the boxes?
I could sit in there for hours.
I bet.
When I had an apartment with my oldest sister in 2019, and my mom had just got a deep freezer. Mm-hmm. So it came in a box, and I was like, oh, I need that box. So what I did was I'm in my room, and I have a king-size bed frame, all of that. And I took the box out, and I set it in the middle of my floor and cut a hole in the side of it so I have like a little flap.
Right.
And my sister came in the room, and I sat inside the box, and I had a hot box.
You know what's crazy? It's like people don't even care about the box. Let me rephrase that. They don't even care about you being in a box. They're like, where'd you get a knife from? Like, do you not care I'm in a box? No, you're just using sharp objects.
I'm in a box. I had fun. That made my whole day. And I would do that sometimes. Just pull my box out in the middle of my room and just sit in there.
Better than doing drugs.
I wouldn't do that. I'll be scrolling on my phone sometimes, just sitting crisscross in my box, just scrolling on my phone, chilling. Don't know why.
That's so cool. But now you're like, my daughter don't jump because she thinks she's in a box.
And she plays in boxes. She does it all on her own. She has one box that I have to leave out on my floor, and she crawls and she sits in it.
Oh my goodness.
And she just plays inside the box, content. I won't hear no sound for 20 minutes.
Goodness.
And she just content playing in the box.
See, my son, if he's quiet more than 20 minutes, he's done some shit. Either that or he's really into a TV show, and that's rare. Like, my son will literally be in the room and yell, I'm about to get you, and come and fight me. Is it premeditated? Maybe. Should I be worried? I am. So
see, my daughter has a habit of just randomly beating the shit out of me. Random. I could literally be sitting there, she's sitting up against me, and all of a sudden she look up at me and just
Hey, I understand. You brought her into this crazy world. I understand. I wouldn't want to be here.
I'm watching your show. Like, we're watching your show, and you slap me, and they just keep blap, blap, blap. She woke me up one morning by head butting me in my eye.
Oh, shit. No wonder it's watering. It brings back
memories. Head just, and it was just nothing else. Nothing else, just the eye.
Golly.
Forehead to eye. That's the only thing she touched, and that's how she woke me up at 7:30 one morning. And I'm like, yeah, get away from me.
See, my son at that age, we used to play music on YouTube, like lullaby music or whatever, and have him go to sleep. Well, we're, laying down there 20, 25 minutes. I roll over. He just looking at me like, hey, player, still up. I'm like, son, come on, man. I'm tired. Just go to sleep. And now he gets to the point where if he wants me up, he's going to get me up. So I'm sleeping. He just goes over there, wake up, wake up. And then he thinks by whispering is making it better, but it doesn't. It just makes me want to push him even more. But I don't think he understands that. But when I try to wake him up, it's a problem. That's all I'm saying.
I try and do the same thing you just did. One night, my daughter woke up in the middle of the night for 4.5 hours.
Oh my gosh!
And it's not, oh, I'm awake and I'm flip-flopping in and out of sleep. She's up and playing from 1 o'clock to 5.
Goodness.
And I'm like, go to sleep. And it's not like she can play by herself. No, she gets in the bed between me and her dad, and she's crawling over us and hitting us in the face and taking her face, and she's doing this, and she's
My son does this. Oh my goodness, I don't understand. I'm like, son, your brain don't hurt. Like, are you okay? Like,
she made us both wake up, so we sit there. I gotta start work at 6 o'clock. I gotta start work at 7. My boyfriend had to wake up at 6 to get ready for work. From 1 to 4, 1 to 5.
And see, guys, if you're not a parent, you don't understand this sadness.
Man.
Like, I work overnights, and for a year, I had to come here and watch him when she went to work. And people were like, "Oh man, you can just sleep, you can do that." And I'm like, I can't though. Like, 4 hours is a good time.
Man. You
but
have the best sleep right there.
Right?
4.5, man, 5 hours? That's like being a parent and you sleep for 5 hours. That's like sleeping for 12 hours straight.
Right?
That's the best sleep ever.
And then when he's gone, it's like I can't sleep.
Nope.
And that's the frustrating. Like, just up for 4 hours.
Just chilling.
Yeah, there was one time that he woke up just awake and he wanted food or something. Like, I forgot what it was. And food all over his face, and then right then he was tired. I'm like, so you're just gonna have me get up, cook, and then you're just gonna go back to sleep? You're not even gonna play now? Yeah. Children will get your expectations so high and then shoot so low.
It just stops instantly. You go like, oh yeah, you're gonna, and then you just left right here.
And then
you're
especially
gonna do it.
Right, especially when they embarrass you. Like my son, he doesn't give a fuck who you are. If he don't mess with you, he's not gonna talk to you. So he's in school now, and then every morning, the teachers and faculty or whatever come and say hi to the children. So he says hi to his normal people at the front, and then we're walking down the hall. This lady was like, "Good morning." He was like, "It was like, what do you mean this? You just told everybody hi. Why don't you like her?" And she was like, "Well, I guess it's not a good morning." I was like, "Well, shit. What do you want me to do?" he don't like you, so I just.
My daughter has a look.
Oh man.
She don't talk yet. She says a few words, but she look. If you touch her, she looks you up and down, and don't touch her foot. She snatches away. She hits.
Oh, you're good.
Scared the shit out.
You can continue to talk.
She hits people now.
Oh goodness.
She's an aggressive little girl, and she fights. That's what she does
now. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Well, I mean, I guess now you know she can defend herself.
Yeah, she definitely. She don't take something from her because she will fight you. She definitely will.
Well, the angle's gonna be a little weird, but that's fine. On this podcast, you'll soon learn that we'll just go with the flow. I be fucking up a lot. Like, I'm high most of the time, and I just forget my questions or even what I'm talking about. We'll just move on. Yeah. But I want to go back to where you were saying I'd rather like read a Martin Luther King book. Yeah. What about history or just knowledge that entertains you or excites you?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've been like that since I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that has to do with like my mom. She's like a natural teacher.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to her. She's a great woman.
Man, she got a lot. I'm telling you, she got so many talents. I'd be amazed. But she is an amazing teacher, and she stayed like it was a constant. I was homeschooled from pretty much. She started from birth, and then I did not get put into school until 3rd grade.
Damn.
Homeschool. So when I got put into 3rd grade.
So the box makes plenty of sense now.
Man,
should have just led with that. Just homeschool. Oh yeah.
Homeschool, and it was just me and my mama. 24 hours a day.
Goodness.
And it was like, oh, you know how most kids, in school, you get out for the summer, you have summer break. I didn't get that. I had summer school for homeschool. Golly,
so you're just smart as shit. Just for like Jazzmyn, what's a random fact like that? Nobody. What is a random fact that you know?
I know so many. It's hard to think of just one.
Oh.
It'll pop up. I swear. I called my sister, Kiana, did you know? Well, how do you know this? I have no idea. I read it somewhere.
You're
or
a Snapple fact. Fact. However you say that word. But, okay, so on the topic of Martin Luther King, so me, I'm more of like a Malcolm guy. Just for the simple fact of unity and self-preservation. And I'm starting to see why they teach Malcolm in the sense, or Martin, I'm sorry.
Martin was more let's be peace and everybody
Yeah,
friends
which is
and
weird.
Soft.
What do you think about that? Who? Because I mean, you're smart, so I can have this conversation. Me, I think Martin was a. I won't want to say like a B word in a sense, but like, come on, man.
I can see where he came from.
Well, here's your life.
I can see where he came from. Like in that time, trying to experience all of that and seeing where he actually came from and why he wanted to do it. He wanted to be treated equal, so he felt like if everybody was included all together, that's the whole set. I mean, the integration was he wanted everybody to be included because he felt like maybe that was gonna make us all equal.
Right.
But he wanted to do it calmly.
But at a certain point, you can't get your ass whooped so many times.
After so many times, those swing.
Oh,
it's
my
okay.
Goodness.
Like
Exactly.
you got. And I found out, like younger, they didn't teach this, but like as being older, I found out like towards before he died, he kind of flipped. So where he got tired of being peaceful because it wasn't getting nowhere. So he flipped and he went a Malcolm X, and at the same time he flipped, Malcolm flipped.
He did. That is
Martin Luther King.
Which is crazy because I was watching the Denzel movie of Malcolm X, and when he went to Mecca, and then he was like, "Yeah, I saw people of all different ethnicities, praying to God, doing all this extra jazz," and he became more open to other races. But to me, I'm just like, that's cool in a sense. So me, I'm the type of person who believe like black people are the original anything, right? If it's the Bible or whatever.
And originated from us.
Right.
Where the Eve gene is only in a black woman.
Right. And then I have a white mother, and I was raised by white people, went to white churches, and I didn't understand racism and like prejudice until I got older. Like I went to Booker T, and of course that's like black pride in the school. And I was like, no, that's not true. I was raised by white people, blah blah blah. But once I got out of there, and I have a black son, then I started looking at the world differently, because eventually that's going to be a topic that somebody's using against him. The color of your skin or the people who came after you, and I had to change my mindset in the sense that yes, I can love these people who are white or whatever, but I have to keep up guard or teach him how to navigate through this racist world, because eventually it's going to happen to him. And seeing that really like broke me in a sense, because I'm like, what as a people did we do to get this type of treatment? I know I said this on a podcast previously, but I'm like, every other race that is here in America had a problem with the United States at one point. So, the Chinese, Japanese, Russians, Germans, all of that stuff, we were just taken from a land, wanted out of that, wanted to be equal, and now we're hated. And that's what gets me back of like, we have to be something greater than what they're telling us. Because there's no way.
We are.
Right.
I read, this is probably, I don't know if you know this, but this is a random fact. The word nigga, of course, from slavery, it had the ER. Right? That's what they were calling us. Nobody ever figured out or knew why they would just call us that. It had no reason, right? But it stems from the word negas, Negus.
The Ethiopian word.
Which means, I think it's like God of royalty.
Yeah.
So in Africa, when they took us, the Africans from over there and brought us over here, the Africans were still calling each other niggas. And they ended up finding out what that meant. And then made fun of them.
Exactly.
And started calling them the ERs to make fun of them. Oh, you're God of royalty.
then look where
But
you're at.
you're doing everything for me.
I had that same conversation a while back ago, and even in the Bible, one of the kings, I think it was like Samuel or somebody of that sort, and they were like, yeah, they called him Negus or Negus, and I'm like, well, these people are white or Middle Eastern. Why would they use a predominantly African term? And that is what got me on the journey of trying to figure out who we are. You know, because a lot of people want to say African or this, and this, which is true in a sense. You know, the continent is super big, but if you look at the black people in the United States and then Africans, totally different. People want to say like, oh yeah, that's because of like, you know, white people having sex with black people. That's not always the sense. Like, you can have full black people, and we don't really dress like them, talk like them, have the same like we have rhythm. Culture. Right? Have you seen some Africans trying to dance? Like, some tribes are cool, but other I'm like, yeah, at least some black people know how to dance in America. You feel me? And that's what is just killing me. And going back to Malcolm, it's like I understood what he was talking about previously, but all because you're worshiping the same God doesn't mean there's equality, if that makes sense. Because eventually, regardless of how much faith is in a particular person, that group of people can still hate you. And I feel like with that still being relevant, it's hard for me to just be like, oh, yeah, let me accept you and bring you in. Like, no, I need all of you to be collective and to love us. Like, I understand, you know, black people, there's gangs and, you know, we kill each other a lot. But if you really look at the timeline, and this is what people don't really want to accept, is like, if you put, let's just say animals, if you put a whole bunch of lions in a cage and you give one meat and the other one no meat, of course they're going to kill each other to survive. And I feel like once they killed the leaders and then brought in drugs and they brought in all this other stuff, then whoa, he's making money off of selling drugs, or she's doing this off of, you know, whatever, well, let me take what they got, or let me do what they got. And then eventually we start seeing each other as enemies instead of seeing the people who actually plotted against us. And that's what throws me off, is like, people like, oh, black people sell drugs or whatever, so black people just know how to make cocaine. Like,
every race.
Right. It's
I mean, there's a Chinese mafia, you got the Colombian mafia, the Mexican mafia, the Russian mafia, like.
And have you seen Snowfall?
No.
Oh, girl.
I told you I don't watch TV
No,
shows.
okay, but this right here, well, if you love just like, how can I explain this show? So basically it follows three different people: a black guy, a white CIA agent, and then a Mexican guy. And basically they all are working together to sell drugs to fund a war, basically. And it shines light on what truly happened. You know, you destroy these people while also having them bring in money for you. It's the perfect crime. And then you take them to jail and then replace them with... Because if you leave a young drug dealer out on the streets and he's 30 or 40, eventually he's going to be like, this shit's not for me. I can do a lot more. But if you take him in his prime, put him in a cage, and then his son was like, well, shit, that's what my daddy did. And then you don't get the proud black man. You don't get the educated black man. You just get a young kid, you know, that is scared, that tries to survive. His mom's on food stamps, and that's really how the cycle continued. Mm-hmm. And that's why I thought Martin was just going about it all wrong, because you see the hate in these people. You know, you can feel that they will kill a child and have no remorse. So being peaceful didn't really accomplish anything in a sense, because you were peaceful from the beginning, and they still treated you as less than.
Being peaceful and respectful.
Right.
Like I said, when we was, you know, and you younger, they didn't really teach Malcolm.
Right.
They taught Martin. It was always Martin, but they never taught the part where he made the flip and changed his
So,
views and his approach on stuff before he got killed.
I'm gonna have to look this book up and send it to you, but I guess it was a nurse or somebody who was there when Martin went to the hospital, and he was alive, and then they killed him in the hospital. I haven't read it, but I'm like, that's interesting. But that would make sense. Like, why?
I heard it's either the doctor refused to treat him,
Yeah.
or they actually physically killed him. They said, I don't remember which one, but I think I heard both. And I was like,
which
either
is
way, they killed him. Like,
which is crazy, and that just confuses me. I'm like, what do they want, in a sense? Like,
I don't understand the hate. Like,
and that's what I was trying to say.
If we haven't physically did something to you, why are you scared?
Exactly. And
because we see history in every history book, in every single race there's always going to be mention of the United States. And something that we did.
Right.
It's always going to be mentioned over there because we always in there. And the main people behind it is always white people.
Yeah, and
but y'all hating on us for something that we didn't do.
Right.
We haven't did nothing to your race.
Right, and that goes back to this thing I heard. Is like, you're always a villain in somebody else's story. Like, you have all these quote unquote proud Americans. Like, oh, you're kneeling for the flag, you're doing this, doing that. Well, you gotta understand that to somebody that flag is death or terrifying. Or, like, I understand.
Doing it for a history, but our history, our viewpoint on the same history is different.
And some people don't understand. It's like, let me go on record to say I really appreciate military in the sense of what they do, keeping us safe. But not everybody who joined the military are good people. You have racists, or racist people in the military, or you have people who don't care about other human beings. You know what? You don't matter what color they are. And I heard this story of this guy. He was like, "Yeah, we shot somebody just for fun or some shit," and like, just blows my mind that we want to sit here and hide behind the fact of these are good people. They're fighting the good fight, and not knowing that they can be a terror to someone else. And for people not to understand, or for them to even not see that the police is basically the military of America. You know, they're supposed to keep you safe, defend, whatever. And they're predominantly hurting a group of people. So you don't think these other people who are damn near at the top of just everything, you don't think they would be, you know, harmful to other people? And I feel like that's where the ignorance come in, because regardless of what the facts are, not everybody will believe the facts. Or how can I word it? Like, me, I will never understand what it would be like to be like white or rich white person. Like I said, I was raised by white people, but we were poor. Like, to me, that's the ultimate bottom. It's being black in America with a poor white family. But shout out to them. I love you guys.
Because my mom is half white.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's full black. So that's us. I just came out extremely pale. Okay. Because my dad's dark skinned. And I'm just
Do you get sunburned? Do you get sunburned?
I do, but it peels. And then the little slight tan it gives me fades in like a week.
Goodness.
And I go back to this. This is the darkest I have ever been in my whole life.
Really? See, my sister, she can pass as white, and they get sunburned. I'm like, I'm so confused. I don't get sunburned. My son just gets darker.
Every year it comes across right here.
Yeah, you have freckles.
Yeah, right across here it burns. Forehead, and then all here on my shoulders,
goodness.
Shoulder blades, like all of this shit turned red.
You're a vampire.
Do not go outside.
Goodness.
And this is even when I put like sunscreen on or coconut oil on, I still burn.
Coconut oil? Well, girl, you're frying with coconut oil.
But with my mama, she did not get a sunburn. And my mama gets sunburns too. She didn't get one.
Interesting.
My little sister didn't get one. Me? I got one.
It's probably the boxes.
I couldn't. It burned every time. I'm outside and the sun is hot for more than like, give it like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Burn.
Goodness.
And I cannot get darker. This is, like I said, this is it for me. This is all I do.
It's fine. It's a good complexion.
I'm so pale. I'm so pale.
I mean, I've seen some pale people, and that's what cracks me up. It's like I had another joke, and I was like, man, because I used to work at Planet Fitness, if you can believe that, but there would be a lot of people who would like go tan, and I'm like, what do you guys tan for? Like, you don't like brown people, but you want to be brown, and it blows my mind. And some people,
they like the culture. They just don't want everything that comes with it.
right? Well, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and it may make you uncomfortable, but you're a smart woman. But so, what do you think of black men with a white woman? Like, what do you think when you see that? And we're not being prejudiced or anything.
No.
I just love the people who look like me, right? Like,
Right.
my son's mom's black. I will continue to date black women.
Exactly.
That's just
I
me.
mean, now I can admit when there's other races that I can see somebody and I'm
Right.
like, okay, well,
See?
he looks good, she looks good,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, she
but
looks
I'm not.
good. Okay.
I'm not that way. Okay.
Well, what
Like,
in this day and age, you know.
I just, if you look good, you look good.
I feel you.
But it's not gonna be like, oh, you look good.
Give you
let's
that
do something.
number.
No, stop that. I'm just looking and saying you look nice. That's it.
Right.
But it's an odd thing.
Mm.
I like to look at people. They look nice.
It's the eyes.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh shit! What was the question? Oh yes. What do you think when you see a black man with a white woman?
I would. It depends on why he's with her.
Mm.
So like, if he don't have no issues, he would date any race,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, cool. You with her just
Because you
just
fuck with her,
somebody.
yeah.
Okay, cool. But it's different if like, oh, I'm with her because a black woman. You start talking about black women. That's why I got the issue.
Yeah.
Because in order for your black sir, to be here, you had a black mama.
Right. And
You
that's
have a black parent who has a black female in their family. Like, you're talking down on your own race.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I believe things in history repeat themselves, and of course, in like slavery times or segregation, there was always those people who wanted to be white, or they stuck up for their master or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that just trickles down the line. Like, they see themselves as a white man, not not like outwardly. Like, they wouldn't tell people, oh no, I'm a white man, because they still want to have all the benefits of saying the N-word or being gangster or whatever. But
subconscious.
yeah, but subconsciously they don't want to be like that. And to me, like you said, that's where I have a problem. But to me, it's like it confuses me in a sense, because it's like, okay, so for my reason on only dating black women, it goes back to the slave times or segregation. It's like, a black woman will be raped or take lashes for her man not to be killed. And to me, that's deeper than any connection you can have with anybody else. Like, knowing that the blood that runs inside you comes from people who loved each other that much, or they will humiliate themselves, or they will have their innocence taken away just to save somebody. And now we just see another black man get killed, and we're like, oh, we'll protest for like a week, and then after that, it's like, good thing it's not us. And
shit that blew my mind
right.
was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coronavirus. It was, kick of it, right? And you know how everybody it was the whole Asian hate thing going on,
right?
Because that's where it started from or some shit. And they got a law passed, easy, real quick,
quickly.
Before the year was even out, law passed real quick for them. And I'm like, we have been dealing with this for years, and we
Centuries.
still don't have a law.
And
We
that
just got a law passed in California that you cannot discriminate when getting a job against your hair. You can have natural hair at work now. And they can't say that's why they're not hiring.
Black women hair is so beautiful.
No.
Like, oh, people don't understand. But, oh man, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, yeah, so I was watching a video of these soldiers back in Vietnam. And they were like, do you know these Vietnam people are kicking us out of their bars or their restaurants and calling us the N-word? These people don't even have running water, but they know to call us when they do.
Every race.
And that blows my mind. Like, people think, like these other races, just because we're minorities, we're supposed to be together. In certain parts of California or Texas or whatever, Mexicans don't like black people. But they have a lot of taco trucks and food trucks. A lot of Asians don't like black people, but they have, nail shops or this and that. Middle Eastern people don't like black people, but they have 7-Elevens and all this other stuff. And us being basically, so regardless of slavery, black people was here. There's history of black people being in America long before slave times. And
there's pictures of black people being in every country.
Right. That's the thing.
Before it changed to what it looks like now.
Like Australia, black people. And
everybody was melanated until the white people came. And then it changed.
And see, I said this on the last one. See, so I feel like I repeat myself a lot on podcasts, and I don't want to sound like repetitive for people who like will follow me in the future. But life to me just is one big circle, and it all comes back together. So I will say this again in this podcast, but in the Bible, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's a chapter in the Bible which explains what will happen if the children of God disobeys Him, and everything that it says in that chapter happened to the slaves in America. From your children will be sold to the stuff that will be around your neck. In the Bible it said they'll put like iron around your neck, and you saw like the cowbells that they would put on black men. It said like you'll cry out for help and nobody saved you. For years and years, after generation and generation, they were slaves until just eventually we had a war to stop that, and we fought in that one. So it's not like it was just we
fought in the war and came back and still treated like shit.
Exactly, and to me, all of that happened because of what the people that came before us did. And once we understand that,
it's crazy the hate that we get from them.
Yeah.
But the original shit, they didn't know what the hell to do.
Like, they didn't know how to bathe?
Yeah, you taught them how to bathe and how to cook and not eat raw meat like they were cavemen.
It's crazy.
And came out of the caves and ended up getting around and ended up seeing.
Yeah, so
and they got taught to do all this shit, and then we taught them how to survive.
Right.
And they said, yeah, fuck y'all.
And see, for the people who will watch us in the future, I don't say this to bash the other races. No. I say this to bring positivity and hope to the people who look like me. A lot of people ask me, well, why does it matter if you believe Jesus was black, or why does it matter? Well, because the kids that are black, they grow up thinking that a white man is God. They believe.
When it clearly says in the Bible.
Right. They grow up thinking they're less than. Like, have you seen that doll challenge? Or not challenge, but experiment. They put like a white doll and a black doll, and they got white babies or white kids and black kids, and we're like, which doll is bad?
Oh,
and and to me, it's like I would never want my son to think because of his skin color he is automatically bad.
There was a lot. I remember there was like a few babies here and there that picked. If it was a white baby, they picked the white baby.
Right.
But it was a lot.
But sometimes that's just
a lot of
like ignorance. Yeah.
Black babies. Like that's crazy. As a little kid, that's what you automatically think.
Yeah, and I just hope one day it gets to the point to where there's no more gangs or there's no more diversity in the black community, because even like all the love I have for black people, if I go to like 61st and Peoria or out north, I'm gonna be cautious because not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody sees another black person and is like, oh, that's family or whatever the case may be. And that's what is frustrating. You want to do more, you want to love them fully, but there's other people who won't accept that fact. They rather live how they grew up or how their parents grew up. And I feel like with that, when that cycle is broken, then we can get respect from everyone else. You know, like people took us seriously when we boycotted. People took Malcolm seriously when he had hundreds of black men in suits marching with him. They don't take us seriously no more. We downgrade our own women. We push drugs in our own community. We talk about killing other black men while they can actually do it and get away scot-free. But we can talk about it and then do it to each other, and then one dies and one goes to jail for the rest of his life. So 2 black lives that are destroyed.
Yep.
So I didn't mean to stress you out.
And no, it'd be like that. That shit, and it's permanent. Like you never run away from that. Even if they give you 25 for it, you get out that shit forever. You have to mention.
And people don't understand. It's like 25 years. Like even at 18, 25 years at 18, you only have a good 20 more years to live, and you lost so much of your growing years that you're still a child mentally.
Your mental development.
Like, and then it's gonna take you.
Not saying that when you're in jail you're dumb. Like,
right,
we're not saying that. I'm just saying like you missed out on so much. You have a lot of time to catch up for once you're out, because you were in there for how many years. Even if it's just a year or two, that's still a year or two you got to catch up on. Because everything changes every couple months.
That is true.
Everything is changing every couple months.
And then, have you heard of that guy, Charleston White? He's on, like, Facebook sometimes. He goes on rants, cussing out rappers or, like, dissing people's sets. But he's a big troll, so to say. But the reasoning behind that is so beautiful. So he's based out of Texas, and he mentors youth, and he goes on these spaces talking about gangs and this and this and this. Like he disses like Nipsey Hussle for dying and shit like that. But then he goes to say like these gangs are predominantly the reason why black people are not prospering. They bring in fears into the community. You know, like you couldn't even, like, even in California right now, you can't wear any color in certain hoods. And people are glorifying that. You know, like, oh, I'm a Crip first, I'm a blood rapper. For what? Why couldn't you just be a black man that raps? You feel me? And that's what he is trying to get across to people, is like, these people are the problem. You know, like, yes, we have all these other people who don't like us, but look at these other people who are destroying us as well. This is a cancer inside of the black community. And I feel like, again, going back, once we have solidarity with each other, then I feel like we'll have the right steps to move forward. So that's my spill on that. But
yeah,
he was a beautiful person.
He was amazing.
Right, and that's what I mean.
All the shit that he was doing.
Right, and
he did, and
that's why I don't agree with what that man says most of the time. But yeah, I mean, you get these people.
There's not a lot of people that still do it like that.
Right.
Because according to people, according to people I know, back in the day, it was supposed to be like that. Like that's how the reason why those got started. Right. Because that's how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be nothing but black dude like in the community, and that was the police for that community. You stay in your community and be the police. We over here be the police because we all we got. They not gonna do for us. So that's what it was supposed to be for. Somehow it changed to what we got now.
So
like real bad. So that's what Nip wasn't on that.
Right.
He stopped that or something like that.
Yeah,
And it was different. And then once he died, it was everybody.
that was yeah, and that's what the
Every
beautiful
race,
thing.
every gang was there.
Right, and that's the beauty of life. You know, like people are like, oh, what's the meaning or the purpose of life? Even if this is the end, I feel like the meaning of life is loving, adapting, growing, and overcoming. And I feel like once you do all those things, then you find the beauty of life. You know, him growing up, probably selling drugs, probably killed people or whatever, but finding the correct way to live his life and the correct way to impact people, even though he died at such a young age, I feel like he completed what he set out to do. Like, yes, he could have done more, but
He had a lot in the works and inspired
right,
so many people.
right, and not everyone can do that. Like, generations can go by before there's another him. But it just starts to show you once those people start trying to push positivity, then it's a threat, and that's what's so scary. Like, I spoke about the Tulsa race riot on here, I believe so, but to see like how flourishable, I hope that's a word, flourishable we were, and to see it be taken away, and just a couple hours of destruction led to years and years of just poverty. Like, people are now starting to have pride in who they are. We starting to build the north side back up, but you gotta remember there was generations that went by that you did the same thing your parents did, and they did the same thing their parents did. And
everybody's in the mindset of breaking it,
right,
doing something better, and realizing this ain't it.
and that's what I hope so, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same way being a mother. You expect your daughter to have so much pride in herself and to love herself, to love who she is.
Every day, you're so gorgeous.
Right.
Mama.
I from the beginning.
Good morning, gorgeous.
Right.
Every day.
Like
Every
I tell my son,
herself.
I tell him he's handsome. I still kiss him. I do everything because having that vulnerability as a man, I feel like, is the strongest quality or characteristic you can have, because now you're able to still be a leader and still be a role model, but also sympathizing with people who probably can't express themselves so well, or accepting people who may not accept themselves. And that's what I'm trying to push into him every day. Is it's cool to cry. It's cool to feel hurt, but you also have to do something about it. You also have to stand on your own 2 feet and get through it.
And cry about it, but
right.
Calm down. Take a deep breath. You're okay.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
So, well, let's get to. Sorry we had that little long spiel, but you were a smart woman again, so I just wanted to hear your opinion. But getting back to you, you're a mother, but it wasn't always the case. Right. If you want to talk about it, you can, like your history of trying to conceive, because I know you a little bit on that, and I think I texted you like a while back ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, giving you affirmation or whatever the case may be. So.
It's greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah, of course. And before you get into it, if you want to get into it, these conversations that I ask, or the questions that I ask people, like I say, may be uncomfortable or saddening, but to me, this platform is supposed to be helpful to other people who may not have this
I've had
type
a few
of.
people that reached out to ask questions about it.
Right.
And
yeah, and that's what the beautiful thing about having this podcast, because it's like, outside of people that there's a variety of people who think and feel and do the same things you do that you'll probably never meet. And I feel like once you understand that there are people like you, then you start to live happier. You start to look forward to meeting other people and meeting new people and putting yourself out there, because there is happiness in this world. There's so much hate and hurt that we think this is all we have. But, you know, having women like you who went through something as traumatic as what you went through, and then eventually having a daughter, which is a beautiful thing. I was so happy for you. Yeah. But yeah, if you just want to talk about that, again, we don't have to, but it's going to tie into that, and then like different relationships that you had. Because were you always with your boyfriend now?
Off and on.
Okay.
Off and on over, like, we've known him 3 years.
Okay.
So off and on into that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was it like, your first time being pregnant, and the excitement or the emotions that you had?
First time, it was just a while. I noticed it was a while from, you know, having a cycle. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I have, but it was always something else related to it. And I'm like, this is, okay, we're going to wait. Then I started noticing other stuff. So I was like, I asked my sister about it. She went and got me a test. Used it immediately. 2 lines. And I was like, oh,
goodness.
Scared.
Right.
Instantly.
It's about to go down.
Heart dropped. I was like, fuck. Okay. Nervous. I was like, all right. And then I ended up making a call at the doctor's office. It's just doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. Okay. Love my doctor.
Right.
Dr. Cameron. Okay. At Utica Park Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
He is amazing. Loved him. But I called up there and asked for an appointment. The earliest one, they asked, you know, last cycle. I told them, it's like, okay, you come in. I think it was like a Thursday. And I was like, okay. So I showed up, and it was just to get blood work, urine sample, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they got that, and it came back like, yeah, you are. And it was like, okay, we're going to schedule another appointment, and they had me come back that Tuesday. First ultrasound. I was supposed to be past the little 6-week mark.
Right.
And they did the ultrasound, and he's looking. He's like, he don't have a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
He just sat there. Just frozen. He was quiet. He just let me process it for a bit. And I said, okay, so what do we do? It's like, we have 3 options. You can either let it pass itself naturally. It can take a couple weeks. You can take a pill and it'll activate it, or we can schedule DNC. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna let it pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I went home, and I was fine for like the first 3 hours. And then I got to my sister's room and I broke down. And I explained to her. She called off work, and it was just, I don't know, I felt embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to see him really. And then it was a month went by, and nothing.
Oh, damn.
Nothing happened. And I'm still having pregnancy hormones. Like, it's still going. And it's like, I was like, my mom was like, I think you should go to the doctor. So I go to the ER. They do a urine sample, and they come back that I'm like, it says like, I think it's like 15, 16 weeks according to the ACG level.
Shit.
Yeah, like real quick. So I had to go to the maternity wing, and I get my doctor comes over there, and he's like, it still hasn't passed. I told you. He's like, we can get you another ultrasound. I was like, yeah. And so he's like, okay, I'll have the tech come in and she'll do it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And the tech came in a few minutes later. She did another ultrasound, and she didn't say nothing the whole time. Like, not one word to me the entire time. And then he comes back in, he asks if the tech explain. I was like, she didn't say nothing. He said that no heartbeat, there's no, like, it's no life or whatever, but my placenta looks weird. And he said that he looked at it some more and looked at the blood work and said that baby died at like 7 weeks.
And you were 14 at that time?
I was only supposed to be 11 at the time, but my blood work was showing that I was 15 and 16 weeks.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So that's a long time. Like, that's not healthy, right?
No.
Yeah.
So He said what it is a molar pregnancy.
Okay.
And it's rare. And that is that the baby develops too many chromosomes. So say it gets all 46 from the dad, but only gets the 23 from me. It has all of that. But you know, the baby can only survive with 23.
Okay.
So it only gets half of him and half of her. But it had all of him and half of me, or all of me and half of him. And so all these extra chromosomes and shit also developed a tumor. So I had a tumor that was growing, and that's what was producing the pregnancy hormone. And also I had a baby that's been dead sitting in me for over a month.
Goodness.
And he said that he could not let me take a pill, let it pass naturally. I had to get a DNC.
And is that a surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had to get one because it is a chance that if the baby go ahead and passes, I could bleed out.
Shit. See, that's...
And I also had to watch out that once he removed it, I had to come in his office for 8 months later, every month, to get a blood sample, urine sample to him, to make sure my HCG wasn't going up, because he had to watch out for either uterine or cervical cancer.
That's terrifying.
When I had the surgery, I found out I lost a liter of blood.
That's a lot.
And yeah, we have 3.74 liters, and I lost the whole liter getting a DNC that day.
You're such a strong woman. I don't understand. Like, people don't give women credit enough. You know, like as a man, I can't fathom all that you guys go through mentally and physically. So that passes, you're fine. How long was it after that? Because how many times before your daughter came?
I had two.
Two?
Yeah.
So how long after that? And then were you trying to get pregnant, or
no,
did it
I was
just
not getting
happen?
trying to get pregnant
Okay.
at the time. It was
It
just
just
having a little bit too much fun, you know, and it happened.
I feel you. I know.
It happened.
I feel you.
But the first time it was the end of January 2020, and then the second time was December of 2020.
Okay. So whole year.
Right before I hit that year mark. Like I said, I started January 28th. Because then I found out with the first one, and then the second one I found out I lost it December 13th, the same year.
So, having that experience twice, did that do more to you mentally than the first one, or?
Yeah. It was the same, because it was around the same amount of time. Right. I think that baby died at 6 weeks. That was right at 6 weeks.
And you said you were embarrassed with the first one. What were you feeling this time? Did you think it was just you, or?
Yeah. I was like, there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something, there gotta be something wrong.
And how
I
did...
had it twice in a year, like, and it wasn't like, oh, it was here, and then a year or so went by and another one. It was back to back. The only 2 times I've ever been pregnant was right here and right here. So there gotta be something that's going on.
So how did you get past that feeling? Or have you even got past it?
I still have my moments.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It still be hurting sometimes, but for the most part, I've been good. At first, after that second one, I didn't talk about it, like, at all. The moment, like, all the bleeding and stuff like that stopped as soon as he came back in town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's how I got my daughter here. I swear. It was like the week or so later. I did not talk about it. I did not want to talk about it.
So
that's how she got here. Like, right after Christmas is when we made her.
Right. So there's a lot of women that go through that experience. My cousin, he died in a car accident when he was like 2 or 3 or something like that. And where he is buried, there's other children who have passed away. And it blows my mind at how many headstones there are. Mm-hmm. What can you say to a mother who had lost her child and don't think she's good enough to have another child, or a woman who is thinking about having another child but is afraid, what would you say to them?
Take your time. Take your time. Because you rush it and it'll be a lot to adjust to if you're not over even just one of them. Let alone having multiples. Like, it's just, I was thinking about that earlier. It's like there's just something I don't think you ever fully get over.
Right.
You just learn how to better cope with it. But you don't, it's not something you just like, oh yeah, I'm 100% over it. It's like, no, you're like 98.
Yeah. And
it's just something,
right.
You always have that day where you'll think and just get a little sad.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why the journey that I'm taking now, I try to see things from people's perspective. And when a lot of people were upset that the stuff with the abortion, or women who have abortions or whatever, they get looked at a certain way. And for me, when I was younger and ignorant, I thought the same thing. But now that I'm the man that I am, I start to sympathize with a lot of women. And I feel like that's what a lot of men need to start doing, is sympathizing. Because I don't think people understand, or men don't understand how it is to be pregnant and then make a decision, or in your case, just naturally lose a child and no longer be pregnant. And the amount of stress, and you guys are expected to be fine. You're expected to go back to work. You're expected to be a girlfriend or to be whatever the case may be. And once
it takes a minute.
Yeah. Well, shit. To me, I don't know if I could survive that. Like,
it's hard.
Yeah, I had real bad anxiety and depression about people dying, and then sometimes I think about my son, especially when he's sick. Like, oh, what if he passes away in his sleep and I can't get to him?
Sometimes too, it scares the shit.
Right, and to me now, how I get over it, I keep reassuring myself, like, he's in there breathing now, he's alive now.
I still go and check on my baby.
Oh yeah, of course.
I get right up on her face, so if I can't see her moving, like if I don't see her chest,
I poke him. I'm like, nigga, you gonna show me some sign.
I do that, and sometimes she don't move. She just really just sit there and just be laid out. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And so I say, and I do that. She'll do that. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine. And I turn over like I'm okay, just stay asleep. Like I just have to. I need you to keep breathing.
Right.
Sometimes I just get so paranoid, I lean over and I just tell her, keep breathing.
Yeah.
Just stay breathing. I don't know. And I just thought that was just me being paranoid.
No, that's beautiful. I mean, I feel like once parents understand that all the feelings and all the goofy things that you do is worth it, because that experience is one in a million, or one in a lifetime, or whatever. Like, even if you had another child, or if I had another child, it wouldn't be the same emotion. It wouldn't be the same.
Each kid is different.
Right.
So you're going to have a totally different experience. Let alone with just that one kid, you got two kids.
So you have,
kids.
So you have to understand, parents.
And you have to adapt to each and every one and how to deal with each and every one every second of the day. It's constant adapting.
Right. And then, like, with my son, every morning he loves to get on my shoulders to go to school and then to leave school. Like I say, I work overnight. I'm high as fuck every time I pick him up. And sometimes I'm like, son, I don't want to pick you up. You feel me? I don't want to have you on my shoulders. And now I'm losing weight, so my pants are always falling down. I'm trying to navigate through the damn school. But it's like, eventually he's not going to want to get up there. And eventually he's not going to want to hold my hand or have me walk him to school. So I'm about to enjoy every moment of this.
I know, boyfriend gets so mad at me because she could do a little fall, like barely hurt herself. Oh, I'm going all out. Oh my goodness, Chunka, you okay? Oh my goodness. Because I know that eventually she's just going to get up and walk off, and I ain't having to do it, and it's going to break my heart.
Right.
Because why are you growing up?
Yeah, that's...
Slow down. That's why I be ready to... Like, it was just like a month ago she came here. Like, she was, it was just, she's a month old. And no, it's a whole year.
Like, as you can see, my son has artwork on the wall. Yeah. He used to just sit there and drool. Yeah. Just sit there and not do shit. He used to eat everything. Now he knows exactly what he wants to eat. He knows exactly how he likes it. He knows how to navigate on his iPad and which TV show he wants to watch. If he gets bored with one.
Shoot, my daughter is trying to. If I got it on my phone or on my laptop, the moment her show goes off and it says next episode.
Right.
She tries to touch it. She can't get it, but she tries to touch it to hurry up and get it to the next one.
And then my son, out of nowhere, started counting to 10. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't teach you how to count to 10. He just over here, 1, 2. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for all that. And
my nephew, oh, he's adorable. Love him, okay? He is so smart. My man knows sign language. Like some of the words he says, like as if you talk to him, some of the words he says, he'll sign it. The little words. So, and it's not like he's trying to do it, like he's looking down at his hands. It's just like he's talking to you, and he'll just sign.
That's
shit.
crazy.
And it's just like it's second nature.
I know. Well, I heard some parents doing that.
He could read. He could count.
How old is he?
4.
Golly.
He can read a book. And we don't know who taught him how to read. Because none of us he learned the letters. Mm-hmm. He can tell you his letters forwards and backwards.
Oh shit! I really can do it forward. Like if you tell me, Julian, what comes after, like, let's just say T, I have to say my alphabet, get the T, and be like.
He can tell you easily, easy, baby.
I can't.
Real quick.
I cannot.
Say what letter comes before this, and he'll tell you real quick. He is.
That's not me at all.
He learned the letter. He learned how to say it forwards and backwards. He learned the sounds to each letter, and the next thing you know, he's reading and spelling. He can spell words.
That's beautiful.
And 4.
And once we start pushing like education on children, I feel like we're gonna have so many smart people in the future. Like.
And it's not like we stop him from playing.
Right.
He still gets he spends a lot of his time, before he got put in school, a lot of his time playing and on his tablet, and we still made sure that he did it, and somehow he got taught how to sign his alphabet.
That's so cool.
And the next thing you know, he knows words, and he's telling me, this is how you sign this, Jazz. Oh, okay.
Okay, go play. Don't telling me shit to make me feel dumb. Man, children are amazing. But speaking of children, we've been saying this on and off. You have a daughter. Yeah. So you get pregnant, and then the scary period ends. And now it's just the 9 months, or the race to 9 months. When did you find out you were pregnant with your daughter? What were the emotions?
So I was not expecting it.
Okay.
I swear.
Right.
Another one, not expected.
Mm-hmm.
But I told you I thought something was wrong. So I had made an appointment I messaged him on my chart, because he's through Hillcrest or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I messaged him on there, and I asked him, like, could he run some tests to see if there's something that's going on that's causing these to happen. Right. Because if every time I get pregnant, it's going to keep happening, I don't know if I can survive a 3rd one.
Yeah.
So I need to know. He said, yes, no problem, come in, let's talk. And so he came in, did the whole gynae, spill of cycles and all of this stuff like that. He got a lot of blood. Don't remember exactly how much, but I know he took a shit ton of vials. He got blood, he got urine, and he was like, as soon as this all come back, I'll upload it on my chart. I was like, okay. And at the time I was working at Amazon, and it was January. Mm-hmm. So right after New Year's. And I was like Saturday, and I ended up getting the shit uploaded on my chart. I got a notification, so I look at it, and I'm like, hold up, this shit's not making no sense at all. Mm-hmm. Because I'm nerd, I'm a geek. I'm finna go back, hopefully come summer, to finish my associate's degree in pre-med, because I want to be a heart surgeon.
Look out.
So, and then eventually own my
Let's
own
be
hospital,
friends, so you can take me to brunch when you get your money.
But yeah, so and I would eventually, my end thing is I want to own a hospital, so I'm trying to learn the ins and outs of like insurance, all the whole medical stuff, not just the surgery part. Mm-hmm. But oh shit, what was I saying?
You go in, the doctor tells you stuff.
Oh, the test results.
Yeah.
So I
There we
knew.
go.
I was like, it's something. It was something I was talking about. It was medical. Okay. So the test results, I get it. Like I said, I know about each one of the things a little bit, and so I can read the description. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is not making any sense at all. What is this meaning? So I was like, come Monday, I'm making an appointment. But that Monday, I also had already made an appointment at Hillcrest to get an ultrasound. So it's going to be those ultrasounds. It's like 30, 45 minutes. Okay, and it is not an enjoyable experience at all. Okay, hate it. But I go there, and when you go there, you have to have a full bladder, and you cannot pee.
Why?
Because they have to do a transvaginal ultrasound. So that's
so inside.
Yes, and so in order to get a good picture of your uterus, your bladder needs to be full to get it at the right angle, so they can look in there better.
Shit.
So you have to hold your pee, or they have something in there that's pushing up and around your full bladder.
I was just worried.
Man, you know how hard that is? And then they tell you, relax.
Bitch, if I relax, you about to be wet.
And so you just gotta sit there. And it's like that for like, you get it for maybe 10 minutes.
Golly.
And then as soon as they're done, they said, okay, you can go to the bathroom, pee. Say less. Say less.
I would have peed right there. They would have
Boy, it is so hard to not do that right there.
Golly.
But I go use the bathroom and come back in. They tell you, of course, now you can, they just do a regular ultrasound. So that ultrasound lasts for about 20, 30 minutes, and she's taking all these different pictures and pushing in all of this, and again, it's uncomfortable. It's not an enjoyable experience at all. But
were you expecting the worst the whole time?
I don't know what. And pregnancy never crossed my mind this right now. Like, it never crossed my mind. I thought she was gonna find like a tumor that was left over, some fibroids, or something. I thought something else she was gonna find, something worse, like, or I don't know. But I was like, something's going on, because the test results is all up here, and she asked what the appointment was for, and I told her about the miscarriages, and I just wanted to know, so she knew, when it happened and all of that. And she's looking, and she's like, how long did you say your miscarriage was? I was like, it happened December 13th. And she was like, your ACG level? I said it was like at a 32. She's like, okay. I said, wow, what's going on? She said, you see this right here? I said, yeah. She said, that's the gestational sex. I said, what does that mean?
Yeah. Doctors, you be saying shit that you learned in a book and expect me to...
I knew what it meant, but I didn't know what it meant at the same time. What does that mean? Like, I panicked. Instant heart dropped again. I was like, fuck. She said, that's a gestational sex, so I don't know if this is left over or if this is a new one, because it looks like if this is a new one, you're like 3 weeks pregnant. I'm going to send these over to Dr. Cameron, and you need to go talk to him so that you leave here. Say less. I'm already going to go over there. And I explained the test results, and she was like, yeah, go talk to him. I said, okay. So I get over there. I said, I'm here to see Dr. Cameron. The lady called. She said, yeah, Dr. Cameron's waiting. Just wait 5 minutes. He called me, sit her back. After, when you go there, you have to get a urine sample every time. So the urine sample, it comes back, and he said, yeah, you're like 3 weeks pregnant, Jazz.
Terrifying.
Ooh. I was like, fuck. I said the last 2 times, I didn't get past 7 weeks. I'm at 3 weeks. Nervous. And I was like, okay. And he was like, because of your history, I'm going to have you come back in 2 weeks. We're going to just do more lab work. And so I came back in 2 weeks, and my lab's just looking like, the ACG level is where it should be for 5 and 6 weeks. And then he had me come back again in 2 weeks. It was like a week and a half. He had to come back then. I was like 7 weeks and 5 days, I think it was at that time. And I finally got the ultrasound. He's like, yeah. And he's like, let's see if he can find the heartbeat, because he could see that it was like at live.
Right.
He was just, let's see if there's a heartbeat. And I was able to hear the heartbeat. And I was like, oh. Whole day made.
Good.
Whole day. I think I still got the video in my phone.
That's
whole
beautiful.
Whole day made. And so he printed off the little, the heartbeat or whatever, the rhythms, and I got my first ultrasound, and she looked like Casper the Ghost. I swear to God.
She had a big head?
She looked like her. For the 7 weeks, she looked like Casper.
Oh my goodness.
God. So when I showed my sister, I was like, "That's what it looks like," and she was like, "It looks like Casper." And so we just started calling her Casper.
That
was her nickname my entire pregnancy from 7 weeks until I had her. Was Casper.
That's beautiful. His was avocado, because we had this app. It was like, I think every week or every other week or whatever, you're this many weeks pregnant. Mm-hmm. This is the size of your baby. And then 1 week or one point of his life, he was avocado size. So we just called him avocado. So that's cool. I didn't know if other people had nicknames for their babies.
I was just Casper. And for my gender reveal or my baby shower that I had, it was Casper. That's what it was.
That's beautiful.
It was Casper. And then now, since she got here, we don't call it Casper no more. We have so many other nicknames, and Casper never comes up.
Right. My son, so his mom called him Pumpkin when he was younger. And I just started calling him that. But now that's his name for himself and for me. He calls me Pumpkin. He doesn't even call me Dad. He's like, Pumpkin, where you going? Or Pumpkin, come on. And I'm like, okay.
When my nephew was like 2, that's how he would address you. So however, whatever nickname you had for him, that's the nickname he had for you. So every nickname everybody had, that's how he addressed you.
That's pretty cool.
So mine was Rabbitfoot. Been calling him Rabbitfoot since he was born. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was holding his foot did like that, like a rabbit foot. And I was like, why did you call him Thumper? No, because there's already a Thumper.
Yeah.
He's a Rabbitfoot. It's different.
Right.
So I call him Rabbitfoot. So when he noticed that I call him Rabbitfoot, my sister was calling him Honey Bun, and everybody, like my mom called him Peanut. So he'd go up to my mom, Peanut.
That's beautiful.
And me, it was Rabbitfoot. Everybody had his own nickname.
Right.
So he would call them for that for a long time. That's all he would call us, was the nickname we would give him.
That's pretty cool. So, did you have a gender reveal?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that, and then were you expecting a boy or a girl? Or which one did you want?
I wanted a girl.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's not something I tried my luck again. Okay? I got what I wanted. Well,
right.
I try it again. If I say, oh, next time I get pregnant, I want a boy, that means I'm going to get a girl. No, I don't want a girl. No kids. Maybe next lifetime when I'm more here. Okay. She's enough right now.
Right.
But, yeah, I wanted a girl. My boyfriend wanted a boy. He was like, nah, it's going to be a boy. And I was like,
right.
I was saying since I was like, I think I was like 3 months. I had real bad, like, acne.
Really?
And I don't